Hello everyone, my name is Mouse, and today I'd like to show you the improvements we've made to 20 meter per second conveyors. 20 meter per second conveyors were first shown by TT. You'll find his video in the description. They use 0 game tick pulses to extend the conveyor into position, and this is necessary because the entities are moving along at 1 block every game tick, and we need them to be in position before the block is extended so that they aren't blocked by its position. This is the 0 game tick generator that he uses in his design. It consists of these 2 pistons, an observer, and a solid block. It pushes the observer into place, which powers this block, powering this piston, removing the observer. And in that way, this block is both powered and then unpowered in the same game tick. 0 tick pulses have the interesting property that they don't interact with entities. Let's take a look at it in action. And let's get a tick warp. And we'll see that this conveyor is running at 258 TPS. You'll notice that we have to use 2 0 tick generators here, and that is because both of these blocks need to be 0 ticked in place. We can't use the slime block to drag the piston into position because it will no longer be a 0 tick. I initially improved on this design by reducing the number of 0 tick generators from 2 to 1. I did this through the magic of bud powering. Here, this block will be powered, which will strong power this piston and bud power this piston. The rails are necessary to update the budded piston. The way this 0 tick generator works is a 4 game tick pulse comes in and extends this piston. It takes 2 game ticks to extend, an additional 2 game ticks for the observer to turn on, at which point the 4 game ticks is up and the observer is retracted, creating the 0 tick pulse. This piston is necessary to create block event delay, which is necessary for the operation of the 0 tick generator. We can test this real quick, and we see that the entity does not move. Here we can see the conveyor I built up with it. It is slightly simpler than TT's design, and therefore slightly more lag friendly. We can give it a test. We see we're running at 285 TPS, which is a very modest improvement. I discussed this design with Nessie from QuasiCraft, and we discovered that because entities are traveling at 1 block every game tick, we don't need a 0 tick generator to push the blocks into position. We can actually use a 1 game tick piston extension. And this simplifies the design considerably. Here I use a 5 game tick generator, and that extends the piston, which takes 2 game ticks, followed by 2 game ticks for the observer to turn on, and that leaves a final game tick for the opaque block to be powered. Because this is no longer a 0 tick, we don't need rails on top in order to update the budded piston, further simplifying the design. Here we can see it in operation. And we can do a tick warp. And we see the conveyor is running at 360 TPS. This is a fantastic improvement over the previous 2 designs. 1 game tick pistons have their own interesting behavior. In the game, the block's hitbox can only extend half a block per game tick, and because this is a 1 game tick pulse, it only exists for the first half of the extension, and we can see this by aligning the armor stand perfectly with the step on a stair. Before I end the video, I'd like to compare our conveyor to a 10 meter per second conveyor. Here's a simple one I just built up. Let's do a tick warp. and we see that 10 meter per second conveyors are running somewhere between 480 and 520 TPS, while our 20 meter per second conveyor is running at 360 TPS. Not quite comparable in terms of TPS speed, however, remember that this conveyor moves twice as many blocks as the 10 meter per second conveyor. I hope that everybody found this interesting. This is an exciting development for future conveyor-based mob farms. As always, I'm happy to answer any questions. Leave me a comment or send me a message.